Greetings from Bermuda, this is BD Aliming. Welcome to Raiders of the North Sea, the digital version of a popular board game. I'm going to be running through explaining how to play the game for anybody who's not played before, and we will run through and play a 3-player game against the AI and see how we do. Alright, so in this game we take the role of a Viking clan who is trying to impress our chieftain by conducting raids against the settlements in the area. I will explain all the mechanisms as we go. For now, I need to get rid of 2 of these cards. So yeah, we start every game with 5 cards in our hand. We have to discard 2 of them. And then these cards, we will basically be able to either recruit these people into our crew, we can then use to go and raid settlements with, or we can use them for their special ability. As you can see, each of the cards has a kind of person icon here, which is some ability they give you when they're part of your crew, and an icon at the bottom here, which is some one-time ability that you can use the card for instead. I'll go into that in more detail later. This guy is a bit different. He only has this icon. He is a hero character, and we can only have one of those in our crew. But his ability tends to be a lot better than the others. What am I going to get rid of? So the number in the red banner at the top left corner is the strength. And basically the higher the strength, the better for the combat. And the number below here in the coin is the cost to recruit this unit into our crew. So obviously the better units cost more money to recruit. But at the beginning of the game we start with no money. So having a load of expensive units isn't going to help us. What you really want to look for at the start of the game is crew members who give you some kind of useful ability that let you kind of get your engine going. Fundamentally, this is a worker placement game. And so, yeah, having something to help things get going at the beginning is useful. This is not useful because we're not going to be raiding monasteries until later, so I think we're going to get rid of him. I've killed a raid, gain a gold. That's kind of good, I guess. He's cheap to recruit. We don't need a particularly strong raiding party at the start of the game. So, yeah, we can get rid of that. I don't know, he seems kind of expensive to me. So even though he's a hero, I think I might get rid of him. Okay, so this is kind of the board that we are playing on. We can zoom out a little bit to see more of it. These are the settlements that we're going to be raiding during the course of the game. We are one of 3 Viking clans. Green player playing against the red player and the blue player. And yeah, we're trying to impress our chieftain. That is represented by victory points, which are these yellow flag markers here. So basically at the end of the game, whoever has the most victory points is the winner. The main way of getting victory points is going to be by raiding the settlements. So there are different tiers of settlements. So the harbours are the easiest, and they're the ones down here, and they give you 1 victory point if you raid them. The outposts are the next most difficult. They will give you either 2 or 4 victory points. That depends on how much strength you raid them with. So this is where the power of our units becomes more important. You'll see the harbours have no power requirements. But the outposts, they are higher. And then we go up to the monasteries, where the power requirement is still, but the VP is correspondingly higher. And then right up at the top, we've got 3 fortresses. They are the most difficult of all to raid, but they give the most victory points. The game will end when there is only 1 spot left in the fortresses to raid, or when one of a couple of other conditions have been satisfied. Usually the games I've played so far, running out of fortress spaces to raid is the end of the game. Okay, so it's a worker placement game. This is our worker that we have down here, and on our turn we simply place the worker that we have one of the spaces on the board, which lets us take an action associated with that space, standard worker placement stuff. And then we pick up a worker from that's already on the board, and we get to take the action of that space as well. Every turn we're just playing a worker and doing the action, and then picking up a worker and doing the action. And we have to do it in that order. We have to place before we pick up. And then once we've done that, then the next player takes his turn, same thing, and so on until the game ends. So what can we do? Well, to raid the settlements, we need several things. So we need a crew who are willing to go and do the raids. And currently, we have none. These are the cards in our hand, the 3 that we kept at the beginning of the game. But they are not part of our crew. We have to recruit them to our crew. And each settlement shows you at the bottom here how many crew members you need to raid it. So this harbour needs 2 crew members, this one needs 3, this one needs 2. And then as we go up here, the requirements get higher. So all the fortresses, for example, require 5 crew members to raid them. In addition, we need provisions. That's indicated by this sack here. So this harbour needs 1 provision and 3 crew members. This harbour needs 3 provisions and 2 crew members. So we need to get those as well. So how do we do that? Well, these are the spots that we can play on down here with our workers. So I'll quickly run through what each of them does. So the silversmith, when we either play a worker on it or pick a worker up from it, will give us $3, I guess I'll call it 3 money. Actually, I lied earlier. We start with $2 at the beginning of the game. If you play a worker here, we'll get $3. Don't worry about this. I will explain what this is later in the game. To get provisions, we go to the mill. And here, if we play a worker, we will get 1 provision. And at the beginning of the game, we start with 0 provisions. To recruit one of the cards in our hand into our crew, we need to go to the barracks over here. And then so we go to the barracks. We then have to pay the money cost for the worker that we want to recruit. And then that worker goes from our hand into our crew. So at the moment, we've only got $2, so the only worker we could recruit would be the gravedigger here. So if you want to recruit either of these 2, we're going to need to go and get some money first to do that. To get more cards in our hand, we would go to the gatehouse, and that lets we will draw 2 cards at random. They will be added to our hand. The town hall is where we want to go if we want to use the play ability of a townsfolk card in my hand. So remember I said that each card in our hand can be used in either 2 ways. We can either recruit that person to our crew at the barracks, or we go to the town hall and we play the card for its ability at the bottom. So this one, we can lose 1 livestock to gain 1 iron. This one, we draw 3 new cards to our hand. This one, we can swap 1 hired crew member with a card from our hand. Other places, the Armory. So the Armory we can go to, and we can either give $2 in exchange for 1 point of armor. Basically, armor is just adds to our strength. So if all of these 3 were in our crew would have a strength of 5. If we had 1 point of armor as well from going to the Armory previously, that would be a total of 6. And armor persists from fight to fight as well. So like I said earlier, we don't need any strength to raid the harbours down here, but once we start getting up to raiding the outposts, if we want to get any victory points, we're going to need to satisfy at least the minimum strength requirement. And so this can help us do that. The other alternative is if we have any iron here, which we can get from raiding, then that will give us 2 armor points permanently as well. The other advantage of getting armor, in addition to adding to your strength of your crew, is that every point of armor advances you along this track here. And after you've got 3 points of armor, it will give you 2 extra victory points at the end of the game. 6 points will give you another 2 victory points. 9 points of armor will give you another 2 victory points. So armor is good for that as well. That's the Armory. Treasury, we can go there to either trash 1 card in exchange for $2 or trash 2 cards in exchange for 1 gold. So gold is another resource down here. It's worth 1 victory point at the end of the game, and it's also used to make offerings, which I'll talk about in a second, and is also a requirement to raid monasteries and the fortresses. So you can see here in the harbours we only needed provisions and crew members to raid them. When we go up to the monasteries we need provisions, crew members and gold as well. The fortresses need 2 gold for the raid that we do there. These little symbols at the bottom here are not a requirement to raid. Those indicate dice, and that shows us how many dice will be rolled when we do the raid and added to our strength. So if we were to raid, I don't know, this outpost here, and say we'd recruited all of these into our crew, we'd have a strength of 5, but we then get to roll a dice and add that score to that. So if we rolled a 3 or higher, then that would get us up to the 8 strength that we need in order to get 2 victory points. Yeah, we roll 2 dice for the monastery when raiding the monasteries and the fortresses. So we don't need to have quite this much strength in our crew. Get this from the dice as well. So that's the Treasury. The last location is the Longhouse, and we can go there to donate our spoils. And spoils basically are stuff that we get from raiding, and it can either be in the form of livestock, iron, or gold. So here we can go and we can choose to do one of these things. We can either give 1 livestock and get 2 provisions in return, or we can make an offering, which gives up some of these in exchange for victory points. Currently we have 2 livestock and 2 iron in exchange for 6 victory points, or 1 gold and 1 iron in exchange for 4 victory points, or 2 gold in exchange for 4. These are kind of randomized, so once one of these is used up, a new one will be brought in to replace it, which will have a different combination of items, but it will all be some combination of gold, cattle, and iron. Another way the game that can end is if somebody has made, or if in total all the players have made 13 offerings in the Longhouse in exchange for victory points. Okay, so those are all the locations that we can go to on our turn. The other thing that we can do on our turn, though, is if we have enough crew and we satisfy these requirements, we can go raiding. So then we would drag our worker onto one of these raiding spots here. You can see this harbour over here can be raided 3 times, indicated by the 3 circles. Same for this harbour here, 3 possible raids here, and this harbour here, 3 possible raids. And in each circle, it shows you what you get when you carry out the raid. So raid is always successful. As long as you meet the requirements to do the raid, then it will always be completed successfully. You get the victory points associated with it, depending on your strength, possibly, if you're raiding up here. And then you get these rewards down here. So if we chose to raid this spot here, we would get 1 livestock, 1 gold, and 1 iron. And we would also get a grey worker, which we would put instead of our black worker. And grey workers mostly work the same as black workers, except in some places. So in the mill, a grey worker will give you 2 provisions instead of 1. But in the silversmith, a grey worker will only give you $2 instead of 3. In all other locations, a grey worker is the same as a black worker. If we raid further up here, you'll see the tokens up here are white workers. And again, they work similarly, so they would get $2 from going to the silversmith with a white worker. Or if you go to the mill, you can choose between either 2 provisions or 1 gold. The other reason that you need different coloured workers, though, is to raid these higher level settlements. So a harbour can be raided with, and it kind of shows you here, although it's quite hard to see. This little circle here shows you the colour of workers that you can use to raid that settlement. So the harbour can be raided with either a black worker or a grey worker. The outposts can only be raided with a grey worker. The monasteries can only be raided with a grey worker or a white worker. And the fortresses can only be raided using a white worker. So that's why you need some of these as well. But because all of the players are playing in the same play area, you don't actually have to get those workers yourself, because if the other players raid and they get a worker of that colour, then they'll be playing it into this area, and we can get that worker by picking it up on our turn as the second part of our turn. The other thing you'll notice in here is these black skulls. So these are Valkyries. If you raid a spot that has a Valkyrie in it, you must kill a number of members of your crew equal to the number of Valkyries. So if we raided this spot here, we would get all this stuff and we would get our victory points. And then we have to kill one member of our crew. Obviously, that's kind of a bad thing because it makes it harder to do subsequent raids because it's reduced the number of people in your crew. To compensate for that, though, there is a Valkyrie track down here as well. So every Valkyrie that you get, or every time a Valkyrie kills one of your crew, you go up on this track. Once 2 Valkyries have killed your crew, you get +1 victory point, and so on. +1 if you get here, +2 from here, +3 from here, +3 from here, +5 from there. So having your crew killed, although it can be bad, can also be a source of victory points as well. So you've got to kind of balance that. And that, I think, is basically it. So let's just jump in and get going. So we want to start by trying to recruit some people that will give us some extra benefits. So this guy will let us draw 1 additional card in the gatehouse if he is a member of our crew, which would be pretty useful. There are other crew, or there are other cards which will do things like give us an extra provision or an extra $1 at the silversmith. Probably even more useful than that. But it might not be a bad idea to start by recruiting him and then going to the gatehouse and drawing 3 cards rather than 2, and then trying to find some of those other players, some of those other characters, recruiting them as well. But we can't recruit him at the moment because we've only got $2 and he needs 3. So I think first thing we're going to do is just go to the silversmith, and that will get us $3. And then we pick up one of these 3. So we don't really want to trash any of our cards at the moment, so we don't want to pick up the one at the Treasury. I don't think we want to use any of the abilities, because if you use an ability, then you lose that card as well. So I guess I'll pick up the one on the gatehouse. And that's the worker that we use next time. So we drew 2 cards rather than 3 because we haven't recruited him yet. Then everybody else takes their turn. At this stage, we don't need to worry too much about what they're doing. Basically, everybody's going to be trying to get enough provisions and recruited crew members to start raiding the harbours. And obviously, the harbours that are best to raid at the start of the game are ones that don't have any Valkyries in, because then you can quickly you can keep on raiding without having to keep re-recruiting between raids. And all of these 3, so this is randomized, like what tokens go in each raiding spot is completely random. So yeah, so all of these 3 have no Valkyries in, so these are like the hot targets, and these will get raided first. Also possibly this one, except this requires 3 provisions and 2 crew members. This only requires 2 provisions and 2 crew members. So yeah, all of these are better. This is the second best, and then they kind of go from there. This, I have no idea why you would raid this unless you really wanted to go all in on the Valkyrie Track. It's going to kill 4 crew members. I suspect no one will end up raiding that. But I don't know, who knows? Maybe at the end of the game. I mean, I guess it could be a good way to... I mean, even if you had no Valkyries at that point, you would get, what, +1, +1, +2, so it's 4 victory points at minimum from raiding that. So I guess it's not. Okay, so back to us again. So we need... okay, what are the new cards that we picked up? So the Jeweler gained 1 additional silver in the Silversmith. Could have used that earlier. And then another Shield Maiden. who's not really any use to us at the moment. Gives us 1 extra VP when raiding a monastery if she's in our crew. The monasteries are kind of the 3rd tier of settlements though, so we're kind of not really there yet. So I think what I will do is let's kind of, well, no, we probably should be trying to get some provisions, I guess. What are we going to pick up? Probably going to pick up the silversmith, actually, I think. Because we don't really want to do the town hall. We don't want to do the treasury. So, given that, let's go to the barracks, and we will recruit the jeweler. Gain 1 additional silver in the silversmith. So she comes out of our hand and into our crew. And now when we pick this up, rather than getting 3, we'll get 4. Which is fine, that's a lot of money, but we will fairly easily do that. So having a lot of extra money at the start of the game is a bad thing. That character he recruited is the one that gives you extra provisions. It's a really good one to get. I am tempted to go for more card draw. But I guess we should, before we do that, we should recruit him first. So we need provisions. Let's go to the mill. And then we'll pick up the one at the barracks. Recruit him. So now next time we go to the gatehouse, we'll draw 3 cards. Okay, he's doing a raid already. God, he's way ahead of us. So no strength requirement required. He chose to raid that area there and got the spoils as a result. Oh God, and he's raiding already as well. I guess we have 2 crew members. 1 provision. We should be able to get that before then. So what do we want? What do we want? Well, we do have enough money to recruit somebody else. Letters. Oh no. Don't even need a 3rd crew member. It really is all about provisions. So I go to the gatehouse. 3 cards. Okay, so Barbarian gain 2 strength when raiding a fortress if he's in our crew. Not useful right now, useful late game. Or ability, take 1 plunder from an opponent. Plunder again is either one of these 3 resources. Raider, gain 1 additional VP for each of your offerings at the game end. Again, offerings are the things that we give in the Longhouse in exchange for points. Or Cartographer, play 1 less gold when raiding a fortress. All of these are kind of useless to us early game. Oh, we're not doing very well. So let's just take that. At least then we've got 2 provisions, so we've got enough to do a raid next turn. He's working in the provisions. So I think he's got 2. Yeah, he's got 2 of these. Look, oh God, we're in trouble here. Because this one gives him 1 additional provision in the mill. So every time the red player goes to the mill, he's getting 3 provisions rather than 1. Which is enough to let him do a raid. That's really, really powerful. I don't know if we've got any way of killing other crew members. I think there may be ways. And the blue player's got 1 of them as well. That's not looking too good for us. But we can do a raid. So we can either raid here or here without losing crew. They both give the same rewards. So, but this one needs 1 extra provision to actually the place we can raid. And in fact, the game makes that clear that the solid white circle shows us a spot we can go there. Strength doesn't matter for the harbours. And straight VP. Nice surprise. Gonna go right there. Any more raids at outposts are gonna kill. Okay. Well, we should probably start thinking about the outposts. Because actually the requirements are not that much higher. This is a juicy spot because it doesn't have a Valkyrie on it, and it gives us 3 cattle. At the end of the game, unspent plunder is worth victory points as well. So gold is worth 1 VP at the end of the game. Iron is worth 1 VP at the end of the game. And every 2 livestock is 1 VP at the end of the game. Although they are generally more valuable when spent in the Longhouse. So yeah, this would normally be 1 VP to 3 VP, but if we spend it in the Longhouse, we'll get 6 instead. So to go here though, we need 3 crew members and 3 provisions. These guys are probably there already. Yeah, the blue player is there already. He's going to be raiding that next go. Just got very unlucky in our card draw. So we do have a grey worker, so at least if we go to the mill, that will give us 2 provisions rather than 1. So let's do that. And I guess let's get recruiting. We've got plenty of money, is the one good thing. So let's get recruiting somebody strong. Although we're probably not going to have a Valkyrie free spot to raid by the time we can raid again. So we may actually want to recruit a Gravedigger as well before we go raiding again, so we can kill him off. But we'll... in fact, yeah, let me get him first. Then at least I can do a raid, potentially. I don't think I've got enough to do one. Let's go. Who's gonna raid that outpost, I'm sure. Yep. Oh, no, actually. He's raiding he's raiding there. Why is he raiding there? Maybe because he knows he can. We don't have the resources needed. Crew strength is also pretty abysmal. Sure, really, whether it's worth rushing that. We could raid here. It's only 1 provision. And kill him off, that will give us a gold. And we do get some decent stuff out of it. On the other hand, we've got a grey worker. Will give us 2 provisions at them. So, take that. And then take one from the barracks again. We've still got enough money. Thankfully, we've got a lot of money early in the game. So, Shield Maiden is useful. She's got decent strength. And the ability may be useful. Soonish. It lives long enough. Okay, we do still have enough to raid this outpost. We also have enough to raid the monastery up here. We get to roll 2 dice, so we potentially add 12 to our score. It will give us 1 VP anyway. It also denies this to the other players. But I don't know. We are still better going here. So the chances of us need to roll a 5 to get any victory points off them. Not likely. Here the odds of getting 7 on 2 dice are decent. Yeah, we have to spend a gold to do the raid as well, but this gives us a gold back. I mean, we can. How's everybody else set? Well set. Plenty of provisions. Got the. Well, the red player has got to raid here. See, we could go to the Armory and we could give up our iron in exchange for 2 armor. Boost our strength to 7. We'll make it much more likely that we'll get points off hitting these things. I guess. I mean, we've got 4 spots we could raid free without losing anybody. So maybe it does make sense to do. Much as it pains me. Maybe, do I have enough to recruit somebody else? I've only got 1 goal. Could recruit him. Really doesn't help. You know what? You can never have too many provisions. Get some provisions. Then let's go to the Armory. That. No raid. Didn't raid. Okay. Surprising. You gonna raid? No. Taking pity on me. Okay. Right, well, I would say it's worth it. Now. We've still got to roll a 3 to get any victory points. Maybe the monastery is better. We've got to roll a 5 with 2 dice. Just the odds of that feel better. Okay. And it's yeah, we've got a great worker as well, which we need to raid a monastery. So we'll go there, which is the choicest plunder. A white worker. 2 dice. Okay, 15. It's alright. 1 extra VP from to 6. We are temporarily in the lead. See how long that lasts. in the lead and with the resources to do another raid as well. Surprised these guys are not raid. Okay. If yeah, the opportunity to keep boosting our strength. I'd like to recruit somebody else, so let's take Baldo by taking a black worker. Now we can't raid next go. Is he really raiding one of those with a Valkyrie? Yes. Is he trying to go down the Valkyrie track? Both only got one Valkyrie. Okay. I can't raid because I don't have the right color worker. Okay, that's fine. We'll recruit. Are we going to raid a monastery again? Could prep for raiding a fortress. We're off raiding fortresses, are we? Let's start with her because we may do a monastery next. And we need to take white, grey. Got no more iron to give here. We could give $2 in exchange. It's probably not. We always need provisions. Let's take that. Tied with it. Those must give you 1 silver or 1 provision on their turn. Oh man. Got 1 provision, 1 silver. Okay, he's kind of low. I think I'd rather give him a silver. Fine. Alright, let's go raid. So, strength of 12. We want to do the monastery thing actually because get 2 extra victory points. So let's go here. Get to 22. What I probably want to do next is do a raid and that has a Valkyrie and kill him. That will give me a gold and free up a spot in my crew because we can only have 5 crew max. And then we'll recruit somebody stronger. So, having said that, there is still this outpost available. Remarkably, nobody is raided. So I guess we got a decent chance of getting 4 VP off it. Let's go there. Oh, we can't go there. Why can't we go there? Oh, it has to be a grey worker. We've got a white worker. Guys, too good. Go here. Well, yeah, I mean, monastery again. An extra VP when raiding a monastery. We might as well go. Go there. Team. Okay. Sacrifice must be made. Gravedigger. Valhalla with him. Get a gold. Oh. Started. We're raiding the fortresses. Gone back to the outpost. Okay, what's our plan? We need more provisions. And we want to recruit the guy that gives us +2 strength when raiding a fortress. So +2. Because the numbers are fairly high. We've got 3 spots without a Valkyrie though. Pretty good. This needs 4 provision. Only needs 1 gold. Good. White worker. That. I mean 12, but 3 or 3 or 2. At some point. Don't have any better options in our hand at the moment. We also don't have the money to recruit at the moment. Using a white worker to get silver gonna give us less than normal. Still enough to recruit next turn. So I guess we do that. Black work at the mill would only give us 1 provision. It's not that efficient. What did he do again? 1 less gold when raiding a fortress. I mean, that is actually pretty good. But only have an attack strength of 12 when... maybe we can do... What if... but if we go here and recruit him and then pick this up, we're still going to have a white worker next turn, so we're still not going to have the money that we need to recruit him. So let's go here, let's get 2. Pick him up. Let's exchange that for 2 up. Boost our strength through armor. Yeah, we don't even need these provisions. We'd use our white worker for that next guy. Oh, somebody's finally spotted that. Okay. We need the provision. Need to Let's pick up that and get 2 strength. Ugh. Like we got so much to do before we can go raiding again. Alright. Barracks. I think maybe recruit him first. Okay, so we got the crew we need. We have provisions that we need for this one at least. Don't have the gold requirement to raid that though. Need another provision, another gold, or we need to recruit. We probably want to recruit. We probably want to recruit this guy and replace the jeweler. We're not gonna be able to do that till next go. So got the 1 coin we need. Pull back these 3. Let's take the white one. Again, it makes it harder for any of them to raid the fortresses because you need a white worker to raid a fortress. No. All the way at the top. I probably shouldn't be as averse to raiding spots with Valkyries on them as I am. In fact, yeah. Rather than replacing a worker that I have in my crew through hiring, I'm better off killing them because at least you get advance along the Valkyrie track. So I'll get the next Valkyrie. Will give me 1 victory point at the end of the game anyway. So too late now. They've raided all of them. The pain. Gold. Could you get that from here? Wow, they're not that great. Well, we are going to need more provisions, I guess. Go to Longhouse, swap cattle for some provision. Yeah, that makes sense. Pull this back so we've got a white one so we can raid, and then gold so we can now raid any of the fortresses. 16, 16, 22. Points can turn around quite quickly though with a single raid. At the end of the game, have the extra points that are awarded for unused plunder can change things as well. But I guess we're better doing this one first because it's only 1 gold. It's also more likely that we're gonna meet these requirements. Oh, no, I kind of wish we'd gone and killed her first. Well, we pay a gold, we get a gold, so actually here there's no net loss. Seven, yay, 8 victory points, nice. He wasn't going to pull him off, so I could do the same thing again, get 2 provisions here. And even more provisions here. What do we need to raid next go? Do you have 2 gold? It's the best one. 4 provisions. This can't get. What are we gonna pull off? Yeah, maybe we do just... Well, if we pull that one off, we can't raid a fortress next go. We have to take the silversmith. So we could, yeah, which we can do, but then that uses all our gold up. I don't know. Let's do that though. Then we have the option and take more this than we need now. Yikes. Looks like a beefy hero. Quick, send the game before they get a chance to use him. I can only raid this spot. If I do, that will trigger the end of the game. Everybody will get 1 more turn because there will only be 1 unraided spot left in the fortresses. So I think that's all right. I'll do that. I think I am fine with that. Oh, 1 short. Okay. Sacrifice must be made. Okay, well, sacrifice. Yeah, sacrifice the weakest one. It's not going to matter. We're not going to be able to do another raid next year. So we don't have any provisions. Okay. I was gonna go to the Longhouse. I guess we can go to the Longhouse and we can turn these 2 into 3 VP. It's like that game. Currently we've got 1. We're getting 4 from this. This would give us 3. This would then be worthless. Or 5. Net gain of 1. Oh, actually, we can't go there because there's a worker there. What we could do is pull the worker off. Can we? No, we can't raid it, can we? I have no provision. So, but what we can do, we've got a white worker, right? Okay, so we can go here, we can get a gold, that's worth 1 VP. And then we can take this and we can X 2 of our cards. So there's another one, another VP. And now, all the points, and oh my goodness, we managed to do it quite comfortably. That is the first win I've managed to get. So, the endgame points, 33 points from playing the game by raiding. An extra 4 points from being 8 along the Armory Track. So this is me, yeah, this is me. 2 Valkyries, which is worth 1 point. No crew bonuses that give us VP at the end of the game. Didn't make any offerings in the Longhouse, and no VPs from that. 2 cattle left over is worth 1. 3 iron is worth 3. 2 gold is worth 2. Nice! So there you have it. That is Raiders of the North Sea. So they've got these kind of like challenges as well. You can do to kind of level up just for the fun of it. I think they unlock the Steam achievements as well. It's basically game, I guess. So there you go. I think, yeah, I mean, I think the AI is pretty good in this game. I mean, that was only medium difficulty AI. And yeah, I've played now, what, 3 games of this, I think? And that was the first one I've won. There's also a campaign, which is like a set of scenarios that you can work through. I didn't find that very interesting. I played the first one, and the other players never raided once. So I'm not quite sure what the point of the campaign is. But yeah, Versus AI is good. It also does pass and play, a local pass and play. There is online multiplayer as well. However, basically only do that if you're planning on playing with somebody that you know, because there are no public games going on, unfortunately. I guess this has been out for a while. I think it's a really good implementation of the game. It's really nice, plays really well. Definitely recommend it. So there you have it. That is Raiders of the North Sea. Until next time, thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. This is BDA Limey signing out. Bye for now.